Hi friends, welcome to a master class on answer writing for the UPSC mains examination. Guys, in this video, I am going to share with you an answer writing template which can help you to write beautiful answers in the UPSC mains examination. I am going to take a UPSC mains 2024 question from General Studies paper 2 to demonstrate this answer writing template. Guys, I have the unique distinction of cracking the mains examination 4 times, and I can tell you from my experience that in UPSC mains examination you need both. You need very good content and also you need very beautiful answer presentation style. So you need both content and style, and in this video I am going to teach you how to develop a very beautiful answer writing style. So guys, let us start. Let us see the question, and from that I am going to discuss with you a very unique answer writing template. So the question, guys, you can see here: poverty and malnutrition creates a vicious cycle adversely affecting the human capital formation. What steps can be taken to break this cycle? Okay, so let us first try to break down the question, and from there I am going to help you write a very beautiful introduction, then a very good body, and a very good conclusion to this question. And I'm also going to share with you a very important answer writing template which you can use in general studies paper 2 governance sections. So guys, you can see this question. The first statement says what? The poverty and malnutrition creates a vicious cycle. Okay, so you have to explain what is this vicious cycle which affects the human capital formation. Okay, so guys, whenever in the question you come across a term, and if that term is not very common term, then you need to define that important term. So guys, here you can see in this question the term human capital formation is very important. The examiner will see that do you understand this concept of human capital formation. So guys, in the introduction you have to first explain what is this human capital formation. What is this human capital formation? It is the process through which human capital is developed. It is the process through which human resource changes into human capital, and it includes educating the workforce, skilling the workforce, and making the workforce as healthy. Okay, so you can start with the definition. You can start with the definition of human capital formation, and you can draw this diagram. You can draw this diagram in the introduction. Then what you will say? You will say that there are there are various barriers to human capital formation. The most important barrier in human capital formation is what? Poverty and malnutrition. And then you explain how this poverty and malnutrition is linked to the human capital formation through this vicious cycle. So guys, I have developed you a very important answer writing template which is called the cycle, intergenerational cycle of poverty. This you can use on any question which comes on poverty. You can use this. You can see this, guys. This diagram is explaining the vicious cycle. So what happens whenever you are poor? You cannot afford to buy food, and thus you suffer from food insecurity, and because of that you suffer from malnutrition. And since you are suffering from malnutrition, that leads to stunted growth. That leads to stunted growth. There will be less development of your physical body and your mental body. And also guys, because you have poverty, you may not be able to go to schools and colleges, you may not be able to educate yourself, and thus you will have fewer job opportunities. Why you have fewer job opportunities? Because of your stunted growth. Because of your stunted growth, you were what? You were unhealthy, and since you were unhealthy, you were not able to get good job opportunities. Further, since you were unhealthy, you were dropping out of schools. So you did not develop education and skills also, because of which you could not have good job opportunities. It impacted your learning ability, and thus you did not have job opportunities, and as a result you remained poor. So once you are born poor, since you are born poor, you cannot access food. Since you cannot access food, you suffer from malnutrition. Since you suffer from malnutrition, you suffer from stunted growth, you suffer from ill health, because of which you drop out of schools and colleges, because of which you are not able to develop skills, and because of which you do not have job opportunities. And since you do not have job opportunities, you remain unemployment, and thus you remain poor. So this is called the cycle of poverty and malnutrition, which I have explained here also, that whenever someone is suffering from poverty, he will have food insecurity, and once he is having food insecurity, he will suffer from undernutrition, and because the mother suffers from undernutrition, the baby will have low weight, and the baby will be undernourished, and which will impair the mental and physical development of the child, and as a result the child will not be able to develop himself by educating himself or by skilling himself, because the child will be unhealthy. So he may not able to go to schools and colleges, and thus he will remain unskilled, he will remain unemployed, and thus he will be in the trap of poverty. This is called poverty trap. This is called the poverty trap. So the question which says that poverty and malnutrition creates a vicious cycle affecting human capital formation. So first of all, you have to explain what is human capital formation. In the introduction you explained, then you told that human capital formation has major barriers. One of the most important barriers is poverty and malnutrition, and then you give a heading, intergenerational cycle of poverty and malnutrition, and you draw these two diagrams. Okay, next the question says, what are the steps to break this cycle? So guys, the steps to break this cycle is what? We have to attack poverty, and we have to attack malnutrition also. But before I discuss those steps, let me just show you guys, in our answer writing master class, I have developed various templates which you can use in your answers. Ready made template, you can see guys here. When you have the lower income, when you have lower income, you suffer from malnutrition because you are not able to access food, and when you suffer from malnutrition, you have very less productivity, and since you have very less productivity, you will have what? Lower income. When you have lower income, you will have lower savings, you will have lower demand, which in turn affects low investments in society, in economy, which in turn results to lower productivity. This is also called the vicious cycle of poverty, which you can use in general studies paper 2 and general studies paper 3, because both in paper 2 and paper 3, even in paper 1 also, the concept of poverty comes very often. So guys, like this, I have developed various answer writing templates which are ready made, which you can directly use in the exam hall. So now coming to what are the steps needed for poverty alleviation, you can see I have again drawn a diagram. Poverty alleviation steps, you can see the government's effort or approach to poverty alleviation can be divided into, guys, you can see here these steps. First is economic growth with decent job opportunities. Guys, without economic growth you cannot defeat poverty. All the countries which have defeated poverty, it is because of high economic growth. Even China has been able to remove poverty because of economic growth. Government alone cannot remove poverty. So the first and foremost way to break this cycle of poverty and malnutrition is to bring economic growth with decent job opportunities. The second most important way is to create jobs. Jobs can be self-employment and can be wage employment. Examples of wage employment you can give here: Manrega, An example of self-employment you can give here, National Rural Livelihood Mission, or you can give startup, stand up, all that kind of schemes. Next, guys, government is giving food. Guys, food security is a very important aspect of poverty alleviation, because for poor people majority of their income goes into accessing food. So guys, you can see the question was how to defeat this malnutrition poverty vicious cycle. So guys, when we defeat the poverty alleviation through food security, maybe through PDS, maybe through midday meal, we are able to alleviate poverty. At the same time, we are able to also attack malnutrition. Next is the social security, guys. You all know that health is one of the most important reason for poverty in India. So government has brought various social security targeting the health sector. So guys, you can see here Pradhan Mantri Bima Yojana and all those kinds of health benefits government has introduced. Okay, Ayushman Bharat and many pension schemes, okay, and also insurance schemes. You can give some examples. Next, government is also building infrastructure. Guys, without infrastructure, you cannot have economic growth. To have economic growth, to create jobs, you need infrastructure. For that, government has started Bharat Mala, Sagar Mala, Udan, Ude Desh Ka Nagrik. Next, guys, these days disaster resilience is very important, because even if you develop, even if you remove poverty, still people can fall into poverty if they are not disaster resilient. So government is focusing on disaster resilience in order to attack poverty. So this diagram you can use on any question where you have to answer how can government improve the people who are in poor situation, or how can government attack poverty. Next, the second step is what government is doing for malnutrition. Here government is starting this scheme called Poshan Abhiyan, which is a flagship scheme. Under this Poshan Abhiyan, there are various components. You can see ICT application, convergence, community mobilization, behavioral change, Jan Andolan, capacity building, incentives, awards. You can see here, government is also having a scheme called Saksham Anganwadi in order to improve the Anganwadi performance and also improve the midday meal services. So guys, these are the ways in which government is trying to break this cycle of poverty and malnutrition. You can see how many diagrams we have drawn. We have drawn one diagram, human capital formation diagram. Then we have drawn two diagrams here, which explains what is this vicious cycle of poverty and malnutrition. And then again, we have drawn a diagram on poverty alleviation. And this also you can show in a diagram, okay, how government is attacking the poverty. In the end, you can link that, you can link human capital formation, and you can link poverty and malnutrition to sustainable development goals, to sustainable development goals. And you can say that if we focus on alleviation of poverty and malnutrition by breaking this cycle, we will be able to achieve sustainable development goals. And you can mention here some of the sustainable development goals which focuses on poverty and malnutrition, which is sustainable development 1 and 2. And you can also talk about sustainable development goal on human capital formation. Like this, you can write a very good answers, guys. Guys, if you need my help in answer writing, guys, every day I'm conducting an answer writing master class. You can see, guys, this is the number, telegram number. You can approach me. I'll be sharing a lot of templates every day, like the templates which I have shared here. I have made a lot of templates, ready-made templates to directly use in the exam. Thank you, guys. Please do consider liking this video and sharing this video with your friends who are preparing and struggling in the answer writing. Thank you.